Hi friends, welcome back to my channel Quality Learning, and today we are going to discuss about a topic which I think most of us get confused during our preparations. You can be a type of person where you would be just starting your preparations, or you would be on your preparations. You have already started with your preparations of NEET MDS, and you are on the way and you are so much confused. There are 100 people talking and 100 things going on. Okay, so in this YouTube video, I am just going to say you the standard reference books which you need to follow. Just standard reference books which you need to follow for your NEET MDS exams. Or if you are a student like me who have studied not so very nicely during your BDS period, or you are an average student, so this video is for you. So first year BDS books, it's like 4 years after which you would be, after for preparing your NEET MDS exams, you are taking those books again in your hands. So now which books? Because some of you would be so confused, you must have read from QRS, or you must have just referred to your Bhalani, and now you are preparing for your NEET MDS. So you really don't know which books should you go through. So one, that is anatomy. Anatomy, you need to just study BD Chaurasia, and most importantly the handbook, which includes all the classification of bones, cartilages, which have all the images which are present over there, and volume 2, which includes lung, kidney, liver, intestines, and volume 3, which is the most important part, I would say, of NEET MDS exams. Now second, that is biochemistry and physiology. Biochemistry, I would suggest use Satyanarayan book for dental students. This is the best book which you can study. And why only for dental students? Why not medical students? Okay, you can study the medical book if you want, but keep this thing in your mind that physiology and biochemistry together have total 14 questions in your NEET MDS exams. So it is your priority which books should you study for your biochemistry. Physiology, you should study AK Jain or Sembulingam. Okay, and if you are the student who is above average, I'm not talking about students who are average, and if you still feel that you need to study something about biochemistry, I would suggest you should read Across or Rebecca James for MCQ. But my personal opinion is that only 7 MCQs are asked in your biochemistry, so better not go for those books. Now, DADH, dental anatomy and dental histology. We all love the subjects because this is the subjects which has introduced ourselves to the dentistry. And DADH, DA, I would say Wheeler's straight textbook questions or textbook images come in your exams, and if you read Wheeler's well, you are par. You do not need to read any of the different kind of MCQ books. Only Dental Pulse and Wheeler's is your best friend. And dental histology, I would suggest Orbans, which is the best book you can read for your dental histology part. So second year subjects, in second year subjects you have pharmacology, you have your general pathology, microbiology, and dental materials. So for pharmacology, we all have read KD Tripathi for dental students, but I would personally recommend you Sparsh Gupta. Now you will ask me, why Sparsh Gupta? Sparsh Gupta, because this book is so easy. It has given everything in points. It has mnemonics which will help you learn pharmacology so easy. It will make pharmacology so simple for you. Also, it has those NEET MD, not NEET MDS, but the NEET PG based exams, simple MCQ based exams which are asked for the medical students, and those questions are given behind every chapter. So you can refer to those chapters and you can go through whether your concepts are clear or not. Please mind that you do not need to know everything about in pharmacology. Only thing is classification, mechanism of action. These are the main things of pharmacology. Okay, second subject is dental materials. Now I know most of the people would have not read Phillips, but we all must have read one book that is called as Manapali. And yes, this book is really a good book. It is a student friendly book and you can definitely refer. But DM is all about numericals. Okay, so numericals, if we are talking about numericals, I would say that for numericals you need to for numbers you need to refer those standard books such as Phillips Okay, Monopoly is a good book to understand your concepts and make it clear if you have read from those books. But Phillips is a book which will give you, you know, those standard numbers which will help you crack your exam really very easily. And the third and the most important part, that is microbiology and general pathology. Now microbiology, we all have read CP Baweja. Now CP Baweja is a book which is really very nice, student friendly, and if you have read from those books, read from those books. And general pathology is Harsh Mohan, which we all have studied. Okay, so Harsh Mohan is the book which you need to study, and my personal recommendation would be that you should read Arvind Arora if you have time. This is a medical book and it is really very useful to understand topics such as inflammation, immunity for microbiology, and also general bacteriology, which is explained so beautifully with MCQs given behind. So I would not recommend you to solve the MCQs behind, but I would definitely recommend you to read general bacteriology, immunology of Arvind Arora, microbiology, from the microbiology section, and from the from the general pathology section you should study the inflammation chapter really very well. Okay, so which books for third year subjects? Definitely the most important subject, that is oral pathology. Now oral pathology, I would say two standard references, but any one if you have done it, most of you must have read from Sheffers, and the other standard book is Neville. Okay, so if you have studied from any one of the book, it is a great book, or it is a great friend of yours during your preparation period. Now general medicine. General medicine, I would suggest that whichever book you have studied and your college had recommended you, you should go for those books. My personal recommendation would be PJ Mehta. Now why PJ Mehta? Because it has simplified things so nicely in those books, like such as understanding aortic murmurs, regurgitation, understanding how to measure a blood pressure, how to find pulse, what is cyanosis, what is clubbing. All these things are so beautifully given is in this practical handbook of general medicine called as PJ Mehta. And general surgery. Now general surgery, only one book which I think most of us have studied, that is Shenoy for dental students. Manipal of general surgery for dental students, Shenoy. Okay, but I would personally suggest you reading a medical part of the book, which gives more knowledge, and it gives you a profound knowledge how and thyroid, a subject like thyroid is. Okay, so if you read a topic such as thyroid, fluids, burns from those books, you would get, your knowledge would increase, your concepts would be better, and you would be able to perform better in your exams. Okay, final year subjects. So which books for final year subjects? I know most of us know about these subjects, but I would like to add a little bit on this. So do watch it completely. First is the OMDR part. OMDR part is nothing but your oral pathology. I would recommend that if you have done your oral pathology really very well from Schaeffer's, you do not need to refer any standard references for your OMDR. This is a smart way to study. Okay, you do not need to open your GOMS, you do not need to open your any of the OMDR books if you have read your oral pathology really very nicely from Schaeffer's or Neville. Second is your pedodontics. So pedodontics, we all know, only two standard references, any one if you have, it is great. Either it is Nikhil Marwa or either it is Shobhat Tandon. The third topic, that is textbook of orthodontics. So which book for orthodontics? We all know only one book which has been God for all of us, that is Balaji. Yes, this book is really very nice because it is very student friendly to all of us, and you do not need to open Karbanda, you do not need to open Prophet and start reading those books. You know, you should be smart during your preparations. You should study only the books that you have read during your preparations. If someone says read Karbanda, if someone says read Prophet, it will not help you, you are wasting your time. So better read what you have read. So the fourth subject is oral surgery. Which books for oral surgery? Either you read SM Balaji or either you read Nilima Anil Malik. These two are the most student friendly accepted books all over, all across the India, and most of our examiners also refer these books for preparing for setting your NEET MDS questions. So this book is really very nice. If you have read marsupialization, enucleation processes, bone fixation processes, internal fixation, external fixation, all these procedures really very nicely from these books, then you won't be afraid to solve any of the MCQ questions in your exam. The fifth subject, that is the subject of periodontology. Now, which books for periodontology? For periodontology, all must have read, I think so, all of you must have read Carranza. But the students like me who have not read Carranza, you should read Sahitya Reddy, or you should have read Shanti Priya Reddy. These are the two books you must have read. I don't think there are any other books you must have read. So if you are an average student like me, read Sahitya Reddy and refer to the image based questions in Carranza. Okay, don't start anything new. If you are studying this book, if you have studied this book, go through that book only, but also go through the clinical based important questions which are given in your Carranza. So you just need to go through. Okay, remember I said smart work is important, not hard work. If you have smart work, then the hard work will follow. Okay. So which book for radiology? Radiology is such an important subject. It is a small subject, but we tend to ignore this small and easier subjects. If you will read these subjects really very nicely from your standard references, I would say, I can bet on this, that you would definitely score good marks in your exams. Such as I would suggest you two standard references. Any one references would be great. One is Weidenfero and one is Karjotkar. So any average student like me, you can refer to Karjotkar. It is really very nice book, student friendly, and those all students who have read Weidenfero, you can definitely go through those books. The seventh subject, that is most favorite subject for all of us, that is conservative dentistry or operative dentistry and endodontics. So endodontics we all know Grossman, but my personal suggestion to all of you would be Nisha Garg. Now why Nisha Garg? Because it has so many images and it has made so student friendly that you would be able to easily grasp those questions. So if you have read from Grossman and if you don't feel like reading those books, I would suggest you not read those books. But if you are a student like me who can read those books also to grasp those topics which are not so clear in Grossman, you can definitely go for Nisha Garg. Now, textbook of prosthodontics, I would say we all have studied Nallaswamy and we have mostly studied the first edition. The second edition is really very vast and it has a very profound knowledge in that. But I would say I would recommend not to waste so much of your preparation times in reading those books which you have never studied. So if you have read from first edition, read it from those edition. Or if you are a student who are not understanding those concepts well in Nallaswamy, because the images are really very less, so you can obviously refer a good book such as Rangarajan, which I personally recommend because I had seen those books. Though that book has given all the clinical steps with diagrams and images, so it would really be very easy for all of you to understand the concepts of prosthodontics. And the last and the final subjects I would say, that is the public health dentistry. This subject we all are so much bogged down because we really have not put that much effort to understand this subject. But the god is one and only one book I would suggest, that is Sobin Peter. And if you read this book really very well, everything is going to be really very fine. Okay. And last and not the least, I would like to add one standard reference which I have followed for my oral surgery, that is Fonseca. You can read a chapter called as Emergency Airway Management given in textbook of Fonseca, which is really very nice book, and you can go through those concepts so well, because this concept is not given so well in Balaji and Nilima Anil Malik. So you can definitely go in that book and you can read that one chapter nicely. It is hardly of 20 or 30 pages. You can read those chapter and your concept would be crystal clear. I thank you all for watching my video on YouTube. I also recommend you to please share it if you like the video, and do subscribe to my channel, like and share this video as much as you can. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I'll see you back again next Sunday with a new video on how to study a book called as Dental Pulse. This is the most important question which we all have in the mind, and if you think that this is also the question which is hovering around your mind, do subscribe to my channel and stay tuned.